The WWE Hall of Fame will take place on March 31st, and I honestly cannot believe it. So much that I can't even look at the camera right now. It's unbelievable what we saw last night. It's something that has been long overdue. The Rock and Roll Express, Robert Gibson, and Ricky Morton are in the Hall of Fame. And for those who are wondering, why are they in the Hall of Fame? Even though they have been in WWE for a couple years, once during the Smoky Mountain Wrestling days, and once during the famous NWA angle that Jim Cornette brought back to bring back real wrestling to the World Wrestling Federation at the time. But even with that, they have been one of the greatest tag teams of all time. To the point where, I mean, God, their accomplishments speak for themselves. Let's just go into that really quickly, because it's a long one, and they'll probably be here for a while if we don't. First off, for All Star Wrestling, the ASW tag titles there's mostly going to be a lot of tag titles, so just bear with me. For the Continental Wrestling Association, the CWA, the Champion Wrestling Association, back before it was the USWA, two-time AWA Southern Tag Team Champions, one-time CWA Tag Team Champions, and one-time CWA World Tag Team Champions. For Jim Crockett Promotions, probably the most infamous runs, 4 times the NWA World Tag Team Champions, which is the Mid-Atlantic version for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling at the time. For Korean Pro Wrestling Association, another NWA World Tag title. For the Mid-South Wrestling Association, 3 times the Mid-South Tag Team Champions. For the NWA National Wrestling Alliance, 1-time NWA World Tag Team Champions. And the NWA Hall of Fame Class of 2006. For Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, of course, the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling Tag Team titles 3 times. For NWA Southwest, the NWA World Tag titles. NWA Wildside, which is surprising. The NWA Wildside Tag Team titles. The Mid-South Wrestling Association, their Southern Tag belts. The Pro Wrestling Alliance, their tag titles. The Pro Wrestling Elite, their tag titles. For Pro Wrestling Illustrated, the Tag Team of the Year in 1986. And number 4 of the best 100 tag teams during PWI years in 2003. For Smoky Mountain Wrestling, an unprecedented 10 times the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Champions. For the Traditional Championship Wrestling, their tag titles. For Ultimate Championship Wrestling, their tag titles. For the USWA, 1-time NWA World Tag Team Champions and 2-time USWA World Tag Team Champions. For the World Organization of Wrestling, also known as WOW, not that one, their tag titles. For the Wrestling Observer Newsletter, they were in that Newsletter Hall of Fame 2014, and of course, the Hall of Fame for this year. But technically, you could also go to them having 2 NWA World Tag Team Championship reigns during the World Wrestling Federation NWA angle. Actually, I take that back. They just held it once. The other one was by the new Midnight Express, which was Bob Holly and Bart Gunn, I want to say. I think it was Bart Gunn. Yeah, it was Bart Gunn because they broke out during the Brawl for All, and that's another story from their time. Just fucking ruined his career. But that was a thing that happened there. As far as Ricky Morton is concerned, he has also some championships, not counting the million tag titles he's held with Robert. For 304 Wrestling, their championship, their world title, presumably. For All-Star Wrestling, the ASW Heavyweight Championship, the Southern Heavyweight Championship, and of course the tag titles we talked about earlier. For All-Star Wrestling in West Virginia, their Legends Championship. For the Allied Independent Wrestling Federation, their World Championship, their United States Championship, their All-Star Championship, and the Hall of Fame Class of 2015. For Alternative Championship Wrestling, 2-time heavyweight champion. For American Pro Wrestling, their heavyweight title. For AWA Supreme, which was a trial of a revival of the AWA, which didn't last long. Ricky Morton held the tag title there with Todd Morton, which I'm assuming is his brother. I'm not sure. Probably. For Appalachia Mountain Wrestling, their heavyweight title. For Appalachia Pro Wrestling, their heavyweight title. For the Carolina Wrestling Association, their heavyweight title. For Championship Wrestling, or CW, which I'm assuming is the, God, I want to say, it used to be Chaotic Wrestling, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe it's different. Their Triple Crown tag titles with Wade Atkins. For Exodus Wrestling Alliance, their heavyweight title 5 times. For the Extreme Wrestling Federation, their heavyweight title and their tag title with Chris Hemrick. For the Great American Wrestling Federation, their tag title with David Jericho, no relation to Chris Jericho, I'm assuming. For, let's see here. For Democratic Promotions, we already talked about the Mid-Atlantic version of the tag titles, but also the I take that back. David Jericho with Kid Cash. So that's a thing. Okay, so with WCW, the World Tag Team, the World Six-Man Tag Team Championships with Tommy, 2 times with Tommy Rich and Junkyard Dog, and with Terry Taylor and Tommy Rich. Let's see, for Memphis Wrestling, the Memphis Wrestling Southern Tag Team titles with Kid Cash. For Mid-South Wrestling Association, their Tennessee Heavyweight Championship. For the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship, which was held recently, a couple years ago, actually. And the Hall of Fame Class of 2006. For NWA Mid-America Continental Wrestling Association / Championship Wrestling Association, basically all the promotions that eventually became USWA. The CWA Heavyweight title. 6-time Southern Tag Team Champion with Sonny King. Twice with Ken Lucas, once with Eddie Gilbert, and twice with Robert Gibson. CWA Tag Titles twice with Robert Gibson and Todd Morton. And the NWA Mid-America Tag Titles with Ken Lucas. I'm just trying to figure out what we haven't already talked about here. For NWA, the Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling and the NWA, the 3 with Robert Gibson, and once with Brad Armstrong, their tag title. For NWA Rocky Top, their tag title with Brad Armstrong, the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Championship Cup in 2013, which is the revival of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. For NWA Texas, the Tala Texas Tag Championships with Phoenix. For NWA Tri-State, the Tri-State titles twice with Eddie Gilbert. Let's see. Oh, shit. For North American Championship Wrestling, twice their titles with Buff Bagwell, of all people. That's a shocker. For Omni Pro Wrestling, their Rock and Roll Tag Team Championship Cup with Aaron Armour in 2006. For Peach State Wrestling, their Cordell City Heavyweight Championship for PWI, ranked 95 in the top PWI 500 in 2003 for PWI years. For the Professional Wrestling Federation, their heavyweight title. For Southern Michigan Championship Wrestling, their United States Heavyweight Championship. For Southern State Wrestling, their Texas Heavyweight Championship and their tag title 3 times, once with Bobby Fulton, Bo James, and Ricky Harrison. For Southwest Championship Wrestling, 3 times their Southwest Tag Champions with Ken Lucas twice and Eddie Gilbert once. For Supreme Championship Wrestling, their Hall of Fame Class of 2009. For Traditional Championship Wrestling, their World Tag Titles, once with Dustin Heritage and once with Robert Gibson. For Ultimate Championship Wrestling, their World Title twice. For the USWA, their Unified World Title once. And we'll just cut here and go to the rest of them.